interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Yo, it's Remember the Show. Slick with the flows, where the sparring can go. Who's gonna be on, man, you never will know. Guess you better tune in, cause we live from Chicago. Belal Muhammad, that's the king of the tweets. Jason Anik looks like John, step his hands to his feet. Every Thursday, we gon' give you a treat. It's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat. And retweet, and retweet, and retweet. And retweet, it's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat.
What is up? It is Thursday, November 3rd, 2022, episode 80, Remember the Show. And those of you joining us live, we appreciate that you remembered the show tonight. My name is Jason Anik, joined by the two gentlemen on my screen. Familiar faces, I'm sure, to you. What an honor for me to be joined. One, the brilliant MMA reporter, and I don't say brilliant lightly, Aaron Bronsteter, and the host of the MMA Podcast, the energetic and talented Big Gun Brian Petrie. Guys, thanks so much for being with us tonight. Belal Muhammad has a prior engagement, but we keep Remember the Show rolling for him. So I appreciate you guys being with us. Aaron, your name begins with two A's, so I'll start with you for that reason alone. So, Petrie, if you don't know, okay, Aaron Bronsteter, former Remember the Show champion of the game show. Now, I know Brian was on the show once before, didn't get to play the game show. So, this is episode 80. Aaron Bronsteter, episode 30. Okay, so this is the 50th anniversary of the single greatest performance in Remember the Show history. Okay, dude put up 2,500 points against multiple opponents who scored 400 and 300 respectively. And I'm not overstating this, Petrie, and I know you're a sharp guy. So, Aaron, I'd like to just first say, welcome back, my friend.
Well, it's nice to be back. For Belal, it's forgot the show. Where is he tonight? Prior engagements. I mean, what's going on here? But I'm happy to be here. Yeah, the 50th anniversary. I mean, I guess it's the anniversary. It's 50 shows later. I'm glad to be back. I thought you guys had lost my number, but, you know, I'm happy to be here whenever you invite me.
I love it. Well, we appreciate it. And for those of you who don't know Brian Petrie, and I think most of our audience probably does at this point, but this man has significantly elevated the Anik and Florian podcast. You know, I listen to this podcast typically when I run, and there's no question, you know, when Petrie comes on, I bet the times are a little faster. It gives me a little fucking juice in my step, man. So always loved your energy. Great to have you back. We had you once. Yes. I'm sure you're fired up to play this game show tonight, my friend.
Oh, 100%. I called out AB. Let's make no mistake about it. I've seen him against the Booger Beards, who's a great personality, but I'm coming for AB. Listen, I watch the show religiously. I'm on this channel, and some of the fighters, everything, like my guy Chris Curtis, didn't even recognize his own face. God love him, but I'm ready to go here. AB he's a sharp dude. I follow his TikTok. He gives a little Twitter or trivia out on there. I'm excited to go against this guy. I think I'm the significant underdog, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, we are betting men, and I do think with the utmost respect, Petrie, no question. Yeah, you're the dog 100%. Here, and a live dog at that. You very well could be. So you see the topics at the bottom of the page, at the bottom of the screen. That's what we do here. So, of course, Belal's show, we're starting with Belal's win. So just so you guys know, for me, this was a very unique experience. The viewers who remember the show know this. For me, it was a very special night, man. I was really fired up, really emotional to see him get a win. A lot of disrespect that he sort of felt from really the MMA community at large. And it was a very fascinating 5 weeks for Belal. Yes, it was all great in terms of what it did for the performance, but I don't think you can overstate what it's like to just leave home. His boy Lewis Taylor was with him, but just to sort of immerse yourself in that, the emotions of that, it really like a boot camp situation. I'm just so proud of him, and I respect both of you very much. So I just sort of want to get your take on my boy now. And obviously you can tell me about the fight, but he certainly talks about fighting Chimaev next. From my standpoint, selfishly, I'd love Usman to take a little more time and maybe him get another crack at Leon Edwards. We'll start with you, Aaron, though. Talk to me a little bit about Remember the Name.
Yeah, it was really a great performance. And I gave the first round to his opponent, but when it came to the second round, he was just computing so well. Like he was getting the reads in. And when Brady was attacking him, it seemed like he was able to dissect what Brady was doing, find the rhythm, and really take over the fight. And it seemed like as the fight went on, the longer it went on, the better and better, he got better and better and better as it went on. And we've heard Sean Brady talk since about how that whole week, he felt like he was a little bit mentally defeated. You can't go into a fight against the guy as well-rounded and as good as Belal Muhammad with that kind of a mindset. And I think he's going to learn so much. Like, I think Sean Brady is going to be back. Like, this is, it's a loss for him, and it's his first ever career loss. But a lot of fighters get better after they taste defeat for the first time. I mean, look at Islam. Islam said the most important fight when I spoke to him before this last event was that fight to Adriano Martins, where he got knocked out. I mean, he says that he learned more from that fight than any other fight. And not everybody has the luxury of leaving this game undefeated. Very, very few are able to do it. But I think that Brady is going to come close. I think that, as he continues his career, he'll get better and better, and that win's going to look better and better for Belal as time goes on. And like you said, I think Belal, nowhere to go but up for him. I think there's only like a handful of opponents that would make any sense for him right now. And I know he likes to stay active, but when you're in the position you're in, you don't want to risk it necessarily.
Big Gun, just talk to me a little bit about Belal and what you'd like to see next if you got an appetite for that Chimaev-Muhammad clash.
So I think his performance was fantastic. I knew exactly what he's doing. I kind of thought that was going to be the game plan. Put this guy on his back foot. He's never been the nail before. He's always the hammer. I thought it was obviously be more grappling, but Belal made him drop his hands with that pressure, walk through all the shots. Impressive performance. Belal won me so much money on that fight. I got floor seats. The man paid for my floor seat. So thank you, Rimboli. As far as what I want to see next, he's one of the few guys calling out Chimaev. Not a lot of people want that fight. And I know 170 is kind of up in the air. Can he make it? Can he not? He was once at 185. Now they're going to give him a shot at 170. And respect to Kamaru Usman. I know he's got unfinished business with Leon Edwards, but if you put Belal and Chimaev on the co-main event in that fight, obviously let one of those guys be the backup. I think that might be a bigger fight because it's a bigger name. You look at Chimaev's socials. There are millions and millions of people following this guy. That's not a small fight. I think he's obviously done enough to get a rematch with Leon, considering how it ended with the eye poke, and everyone's like, well, Leon was winning anyway. No, that's how fights go. This is a 5-round fight. We got a lot of fighting to go. Obviously, Belal is a cardio guy. He builds and builds and builds. So I would love to see Chimaev fight. Obviously, if Kamaru, for whatever reason, can't go, I think the first number they call is Belal. And I'm not saying that because I'm on the show right now. I truly, truly believe that. I think he's underrated, and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. Even in that Chimaev fight, I think that's an even fight. I know Chimaev is going to balloon up to probably minus 300, which I think is going to be insane, but that's an even fight.
Regardless of what anyone thought of the first round between Leon Edwards and Belal, Belal is great at making adjustments in fights. And you see our next topic, we'll move on to 135ers, but Aljamain Sterling, I think, is a lot tougher to beat now than he was back in 2021 in March when he won by DQ. I think it's a different fighter. So you can be sure Leon Edwards would see a different Belal. The reason the 135ers is our next topic is I just want to talk a little bit about Aljamain Sterling. I really hope he stays active in this division because I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. And I wanted to talk about him tonight. Whether it's Cheeto, O'Malley, Cejudo, I think Sterling's going to be super tough to beat. I don't like the greatest of all time conversations at all, but I think this is a great UFC champion who's won many in a row. I understand the Merrow conversation where there could be a little push for him to move up, but I hope he stays here. I think he could really win a few in a row. I know we're going to talk about how often guys fight, but Petrie, start us off here. Give me a little talk about Aljo.
Love Aljo. I thought he matched up well with TJ, and I like TJ, but I'm going to throw a shot at him right now. He's not doing himself any favors with these interviews he's been doing, saying, I listen, if it's a financial thing, you got to fight the bum shoulder. That's a warrior. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But you're discrediting Aljo, saying, I think he's the most beatable champion. He just dog walked you for 2 rounds, man. Like, shoulder or not, Aljo's the real deal. He's a specialist at what he does. Doesn't give enough credit for his awkward striking. It's all about timing with striking. And Aljo is off rhythm, off beat, and it's hard to really catch him and get him there. 135 gets me excited. I love Cheeto Vito. I'm a Sugar Sean guy. I had Sugar winning the Petrie fight, had money on him. I like his talent. But when it comes down to it, Cheeto Vera, man, this guy's mean. He's nasty. And he's obviously got a win over Sean. I know Sean's the ranked number 1. But if you look at these guys that Aljo's lining up the fight, and we're going to include Cejudo there, he matches up really well with Cheeto and with O'Malley. Cejudo's a big question mark. We've never seen Cejudo really get grappled too much because of the Olympic wrestling. Cejudo, in my opinion, though, even though he's Triple C, all that, he needs to get a fight in. I like to see him maybe fight someone else before he gets a shot. Aljo's saying he might wait till June, which I think he's earned, after the neck surgery, the yawn stuff, all the hate he's been getting. But I would like to see Cheeto in there. That's what I want to see. I think Cheeto's earned it, and he's a fucking beast. He's never gotten the shot there. If not, Cheeto Sean title eliminator. Let Cejudo fight someone. But yeah, I love Aljo. Aljo, you're right. I think he's another guy getting a little disrespected, and he's a stud.
AB, talk to me a little bit about Aljo and the bantamweights.
Yeah, it's difficult because with Aljo in that last fight, like, obviously give him the credit for the win, but like on that night, doesn't any top bantamweight beat TJ Dillashaw under those circumstances? I mean, that's the problem with it, is every one of his wins, although I will say the win over Petrie, obviously not the DQ win, but the second win, like, he showed a lot there. To be able to control a guy as good as Petrie for that long, that's not an easy task. I thought that as the fight went on, Petrie started to get better, but that doesn't make a difference. In terms of the scorecards, giving Aljo 1, 2, and 3 in that fight, I think is like, it's not a problem at all. I think that's a good scorecard. But I think that there's always these questions about Aljo. It seems like as time goes on, you're actually probably going to get good value on Aljo down the line because people will keep raising these questions. But there's a lot of different ways you can go in the bantamweight division now. And if Aljo wants to wait until mid-year next year, maybe it's International Fight Week, whatever, June, here's what I would do. I take Chito Vera and match him up with Sean O'Malley. You do the rematch, try to get some closure there. And then on the flip side, if Cejudo was amenable to this, you tell Henry Cejudo, if you can beat Merab Dvalishvili, you get a title shot.
Ooh, that's that.
Who's saying no to that?
That's good.
That's
You like
outstanding.
that.
Let
I love
Merab be the gatekeeper for Aljo. And if you can beat Merab Dvalishvili, you've earned it.
I agree. And certainly there was some talk on the Anik and Florian podcast about what Aljo might want, and certainly getting I don't like this term, but John always uses scalp on his resume like Henry Cejudo, Olympic champ, former double champ. Anyway, moving on. We were talking a little bit about the frequency in which these folks, guys and girls, fight. A lot of talk about, obviously Ngannou takes time, and I guess Esparza wanted 6 months off. Aljo talking about May or June. So I just wanted to bounce you. Obviously, this sport has become really a lot about entertainment. And even a guy like Belal, who I want him to just talk about Leon Edwards all day, he's talking about Chimaev and the big money fight. So certainly a lot of entertainment here. Talk about Cejudo and McGregor coming back for title shots is a very unfavorable conversation to me. So Aaron, just start. There's a little juice from you on how often these guys fight and sort of the line they have to walk, because the promotion certainly wants to control this.
Yeah, it's difficult because the promotion, if they had their way, I'm sure would want to have 2 title fights on every pay-per-view. So if you're doing 13 a year, that means that you're going to want to have 13 each, basically 2 title defenses for each person every year. I think there's 13 divisions. If there is 13, one of them is like the featherweight, bantamweight hybrid in the women's divisions, which is kind of like one division because it's one champion. But right. I think that if they were able to have their way, they do that. But if you look back at this year, they've had 2 pay-per-views that were headlined by non-title fights, which I like. Like, I think if you can build a good showcase fight, that's a good formula for pay-per-views, and people are going to come out and pay to see it. But that being said, everybody criticizes these champions for wanting time off. But this is their investment. Like, this is to become a champion in the UFC, especially you look at the bantamweight division. It's just killer after killer after killer. Yes. To get there is so hard. To stay there is even harder. And you're going to deny Aljamain Sterling the chance to take a little bit of time off and be his best self. Like, we don't want to see another TJ Dillashaw situation where someone's coming into a fight compromised. Like, we want to see people enter the title fights at their absolute best. And that's how we get the best matchups and the best entertainment and the best competition. So if guys want to have time off, I think we need to respect it. And I think the UFC and the matchmakers do too. I think that it's an unpopular opinion, but I believe that that's the way that they should be looking at champions and say, hey, let's map this out with you over the course of the year. Hey, Aljo, if you want to fight in July, can we count on you to fight in November, December as well? Like, fight twice in a year. If you want to fight in the middle of the year, let's also have you fight at the end of the year.
Yep. Petrie, anything on that?
Yeah, I agree with them. I think fighters, especially champions, they're putting 5-round camps in. They're putting champ camps in. That's a little different. And I think they deserve time off when they earn it. And I think obviously Aljamain Sterling earned it with the neck injury, came back with the Petrie knee, then he beat Petrie. Controversial. Now he's obviously earned it. And there's some wiggle room at 135. Let these guys fight. Let's see who the clear number 1 contender is. Because if you ask all these fans, they're going to probably say a different name. So there's time to iron that out, especially with Cejudo coming back. I still think he deserves another fight. And then the one thing that I don't like when sometimes with fighters is, like, I don't want to throw anyone's name on their bus, but there's certain fighters that are a little unrealistic. They'll lose 2 and they'll win 1. Then they'll go, I'm sitting out till I get a title shot. That's not the way to do business. I think that is kind of a little silly. I don't think you need to rush to sign pen to paper to fight whoever, but I think there's times where, like Marina Rodriguez this weekend, I think she should have got a rose. I think she should maybe even wait for a title shot. She's that good. She decided to take this Lemmers fight, which I think could be a big risk here. She's a favorite, but it's a big risk. And I think sometimes you got to reward risk UFC rewards risk, in my opinion. That's at least what they should do. Rodriguez, after this fight, should be either the backup for Weili Zhang, Esparza, if, I mean, obviously there's not enough time, but if she came out unscathed, or guaranteed title shot, which UFC used to do quite a bit. Now they haven't done it as much. But as far as time off, I think champions deserve it. I think every fighter deserves it. This isn't an easy sport. We're not baking cupcakes, okay? These guys are fucking hitting each other and breaking bones and tearing shit all the time. Yeah, time off is a must for these guys.
Speaking of cupcakes, get to the big boys. I want to see John Jones compete in the octagon in the worst way. I want to see him enter on his belly. And so, Aaron Bronsteter, I'm sure you know more than me. What's up with Stipe? Do you think this has a chance to actually materialize in the calendar year before it turns over?
Nope.
Yeah,
we're not seeing John Jones in 2022. That's not going to happen because tickets are on sale for $282. They've already put out the fight card. It's a good fight card.
Yeah, it is.
If you look at it, if you look at that main card, it's a stellar main card. And listen, I mean, is there as much meat on the bone as there could be? We could have seen a John Jones Stipe headlining that card. It makes it go from an 8 out of 5 to or 8 out of 10. Sorry, late at night. 8 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. And they could do that, but I think that waiting until March, April, something along those lines is probably a good idea because it gives the UFC a lot more options. We don't know what's happening with the contractual status of Francis Ngannou. Right. Apparently, he's done in December. I don't know how. I don't know what the mumbo jumbo is and whether they're going to be able to find a way to keep him. I think that his best earning potential is still in the UFC. But then you've also got Stipe, and I think Stipe doesn't want to get out of bed to fight John Jones for a dollar figure that isn't at a certain floor. And then the fight that I really want to see is John Jones versus Cyril Gane. And I think the UFC has that in their back pocket once Gane is healthy. Gane, I think, had to have surgery or is battling an injury of some sort, but I think he broke his hand or something. But Cyril Gane versus John Jones, that would be an amazing fight if you can make that heavyweight title. I just think the UFC have a lot of options, but we need to play the waiting game right now because I don't think we're going to see a heavyweight title fight, interim title fight, heavyweight showcase with John Jones until March at the earliest at this point.
Yeah, BP. I mean, it's just like John Jones. You just felt like once he was ready, that wasn't going to be the issue. He was going to get in there. That's my thing. Talk to me.
Right. Yeah, I want to see him a heavyweight too. I love watching John Jones fight. And then it was like, I remember he was going to fight, then he won at 20 million. Then that was going to happen. A lot of moving parts. He's got some personal stuff, whatever. I have some really bad reporting. Aaron, please plug your ears. This is not official. Buddy of mine was at the Bengals Browns Monday Night Football game this past week. Saw Stipe there. They asked Stipe if he was fighting John Jones. He said no. Now, when I bought my tickets for UFC
Ground level, I like it.
Yay!
Take my job.
When I bought them, it was Jan Yeri, and then when I purchased them, it said TBD versus TBD. So then I'm like, because John Jones sent out that tweet the day before I bought him, I was like, oh shit, John Jones Stipe, that's gonna be fucking dope. Obviously, it's not gonna happen this time, but the only thing I will say with Aaron is I would love to see John Jones actually fight Curtis Blades, because I think that's a really good benchmarker where John Jones will be at the division. I think Curtis Blades is getting slept on. I know he's got the Ngannou hurdle to get past. I know he got slept by Derek Lewis, but this guy's a different fighter, man. The Aspinall ended poorly, but those couple seconds, Blades look fast on his feet. The wrestling is going to be interesting with John Jones. We've never really seen anybody out wrestle John Jones, but Curtis Blades is a big boy. Cyril Gane obviously be a great fight too. I just want to see John Jones at heavyweight. Let him mix it up with some of these big boys, some of these elite big boys.
But that's what I mean, though. We've got options. And I mean, we've got Derek Lewis against Spivak in 2 weeks. And if Derek Lewis cleans out the clock of Spivak, and that rhymed, I think that's when we're going to start seeing Derek Lewis against John Jones as an option. There's a whole lot of options. It's not going to happen right now. It's going to happen in March, probably.
Speaking of right now, we always get a UFC card every weekend. It feels like 45 a year, whatever it is. So this weekend, UFC Vegas 64. So Bully ain't here, so we ain't doing Bully Bix. Obviously, Brian Petrie on the Anik and Florian Podcast picked that we're going to discuss co-main event and the main event a little bit. Petrie already made these picks on the Anik and Florian Podcast. So whether it's gambling or otherwise, we're just going to start talking about these two fights. You guys can take them whichever direction you want. Start with the co-main event, Cody, if you don't mind. So this fight's like a pick'em. Gotta love it. Neil Magny. Matchmakers did well here. Neil Magny, 13. Daniel Rodriguez, 14. Welterweight division. So Magny, man, just collecting that show money. It's like every 2 months this guy's fighting. Ups and downs, certainly for the veteran. Most recently, last time out, submitted by Shavkat Rakhmonov. That was June 25th. Daniel Rodriguez, man, fighter with little momentum, winner of 4 straight. Most recently, UFC 279. You recall the deck was shuffled. Ended up fighting a catch weight against the Leech at 180. So his past 3 wins prior to that were all in 2021, so it was about a year off. So Aaron, we'll start with you here. So both Brian Petrie and Kenny Florian are both on D-Rod here. And you don't necessarily have to give me a pick. I'll certainly see what you're putting out on Twitter over the weekend, but do you lean that way maybe, or will you be playing this fight? Give me something on this home main event.
Yeah, let's make that consensus. I'll probably be taking D-Rod by decision. I think that we're going to see Daniel Rodriguez put on accumulation. If you look at that fight against Li Jingliang, the judges know who hits harder. Like, this is one thing that people need to think about when you're making picks.
Great point.
Yeah, and look at the Khalil Roundtree fight this past weekend. The judges put a lot of stock into who hits harder. And Daniel Rodriguez, if you look at his background, his history, when his fights go to a decision, he lands like 120 significant strikes on average under those circumstances. I think that he's going to put volume on Magny. I think he's going to land the bigger shots, the cleaner shots, and I think he's going to win a decision in that fight. Magny, however, if he does win, will be the winningest welterweight in UFC history, and there's a good chance that in that fight he breaks the significant strikes record in the welterweight division as well. So I mean, there's a lot on the line in terms of history for Neil Magny in this fight.
Amazing. So Petrie, obviously, I know you picked this fight already. Anything you want to give us on D-Rod? Did you go to the window yet?
I have not. I placed my bets on Saturday because Ohio does not have sports betting yet. January 1st, it can't come soon enough. So I drive Saturdays to Indiana. It's about a 15-minute drive for me. But I like the over 2.5. I think this fight's going to decision. I don't see a finish on either end here. I see Neil getting back to what he wants to do. I saw Neil fight Max Griffin live in Columbus. He's a grinder. He wants to clinch. He wants to grapple. He's strong in that position. But against Max, he just seemed a little off, a little slow. He's got a lot of UFC miles on him. And D-Rod, even though they're the same age, his one loss in the UFC is Nicholas Dalby, which I thought a fight that he won. He's got a lot of momentum right now. And his range and his striking with his straight punches at range, even against a tall guy like Magny, I think is going to be something that's important. Magny's going to try to clinch him. We haven't really seen D-Rod really get tested in the takedowns. He has shown a little bit he can submit people. He submitted teammates, but I think he's going to get tested a little bit here. I think it's going to be a very close fight. That's why Vegas lined it the way it is. So this isn't parlay piece for me. This is a straight wager over 2.5 and D-Rod by decision. I think you're getting nice numbers there. You can even same game parlay it, which will give you some plus numbers.
I like it. So Big Gun on the main event. We'll start with you. So Marina Rodriguez, Amanda Lemos. I love this matchup. Lemos is a high level, entertaining mixed martial artist. I love watching her fight. Won 6 of 7. She had that crazy loss to Andrade with that standing arm triangle choke. She was pretty good in that fight up until that moment. But anyway, very effective bounce back 12 weeks later performance of the night submission of the karate hottie. You know I'm going to say that like John. Michelle Watterson. Marina Rodriguez, I absolutely love watching her fight. I think you made a very interesting point that really she could have necessarily held out. She lost to the champ Esparza July of 2020, has won 4 straight since and beat some killers. Hebus, Watterson, Dern, Xiaonan. Got to think she competes for the belt next. No question if she gets a win here. So Aaron, Brian, he says on Anik and Florian Podcast, he has a multi-unit play on Marina Rodriguez here. Big by decision. So I guess she's 2-1 favorite in the fight. You're playing her here by decision. So we'll start with you, Big Gun. How, John was saying that you was trying to talk to your wife about the size of this wager. But so you talk about Marina Rodriguez could have waited and maybe not taken it, but certainly you have a lot of confidence that the same way she did in this spot.
I do. Lemos is great. And she's got to have to beat Rodriguez's speed with timing and power, which she has. And I think she's going to mix up some takedowns, but I think Rodriguez knows, hey, this is the champ. Esparza, this is what I lost to. This is what I gotta fix. She's not the youngest fighter on the roster, but she's getting better. And I think her speed, aggressiveness, and cardio, ABC, baby, always bet cardio. And Lemos has slipped before in some of the cardio. This is a 5-round fight. I see it being entertaining. I see it being action-packed. I think Rodriguez is going to put some really good combinations together. I think she's got to be careful of obviously getting laid on and then maybe some of the big shots by Lemos. And Lemos has proven to be not a one-trick pony. He's coming off a submission win. But I'm just big on Rodriguez here, man. I really think she's that good, that fast. The Yao Shannon fight. I mean, both those fighters, those females, one of my favorite fights. And they were going at it. Speed and timing and just cardio and toughness and heart. And I'm big on Rodriguez here. This is going to be probably, I think I've already mapped it out of my little book here, about 3.5 unit play for me. This is my biggest play on the card for sure. And I'm confident in this fight. Yeah. And she could do it by I'm not going to play the prop, as I would just do money line. I did like it by decision, but Lemos could fall off a cliff round 4 and there could be like a late stoppage TKO, maybe standing TKO with just some accumulation of punches with exhaustion, but I like Rodriguez big here. Yeah.
AB, you like the favorite as well?
I would lean Rodriguez, but the way that I'm approaching this one, and it's very similar to Brian, but I'm taking a little bit of a different angle. Brian might know this. What's the line on Rodriguez to win by decision?
I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it is a small. Let me look it up for you here.
It's probably like close to pick'em.
It's like plus 125, right?
Okay, so there you go.
Something along those lines, if I had to guess. You can pull that up. But I would just take the over 4.5. Like, I think this fight does go to a decision. Yeah. I think that at over 4.5, it's plus 130. You're getting on over 4.5 rounds.
Plus 165 for her to win by decision. Yeah, Cody.
Plus 165.
Not a bad number. Maybe like a little better number on that.
So I would just take the plus 130 for the over 4.5 rounds. Because then if she does fall off a cliff and Marina ends up getting a win at the very end of the 4th round, the last 2.5 minutes of the fight, you win there. If she ends up winning a decision, you win there. And then this is the other X factor. Like, Lemos knows this is a 5-round fight. I'm sure she's trained for this to be a 5-round fight, although initially I believe it was only a 3-round fight, but they moved it to a main event. Lemos has power. And this is the exact conversation we just had with D-Rod and with the Khalil Roundtree fight this past weekend. If she's landing half the strikes of Marina Rodriguez, but she's landing the bigger strikes, you just never know which way the judges are going to go. Sure. Because immediate impact damage is a major factor in how rounds are scored. You look at the Mackenzie Dern fight against Xiaonan, another good example of accumulation versus damage. Yep. So I think that this is going to be a situation where we're going to see a fight go to a decision, and I think it could be a close decision if Rodriguez doesn't pull away. And Rodriguez has the ability to do so. She's got great footwork. She's great at getting in and out. She's great at hitting and not getting hit. And all of that, I think, could obviously cultivate a decision for her. But that's why I would just want to kick for coverage and hit with the over 4.5.
That's a good point. AB, real quick, are you worried that she got in late with the flights and everything? Does that concern you, weight cuts or anything, if you're going to place money on Lemos?
Well, no, because Rodriguez did too.
Oh, really? I thought, okay, I heard she was
sorry,
here.
Maybe not. It was 3 Brazilian women. It was,
I think it was Viana and then the debutante, the new girl in the fight.
Vidal. Okay, yeah. So maybe Marina was here already.
Right, that's what I thought.
But with Lemos, you never know. I mean, it would be good to see them on the scale. That's why it's good you make your interstate drives on Saturday and you see all the information.
That on Saturday,
you're paying the gas vig and the Vegas vig. So
that's right, paying vigs everywhere.
Paying through the nose. So you got to make sure you get a lot on the line so that you can make sure when you get your payout, you're good, you're covered.
Exactly.
Good,
cover your expenses.
Yeah.
Anyway, appreciate you boys dropping knowledge on the topics, but we know why we are here this evening. So let's compete.
Let's do it.
All right, gentlemen, rules of the game show. Certainly Bronsteter doesn't need this. You shout bully for the buzzer. If you know the answer, shout bully. Wrong answer points to the opponent. Correct answer obviously points to you. The real key is just shout bully. Most points wins. Hey, Big Gun, you're a sharp guy. You're a sharp guy, but certainly this was not a difficult concept for Bronsteter, but shouting bully when you know the answer. That's really your focus here. Here, today's categories. This is my first time. Belal usually hosts this. Give me all of this. Here are today's categories. Stat leaders.
Fuck. I'm not good enough.
Nickname game.
Okay. All right.
History of the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Okay.
California or USA, or is that Canada or USA? Sorry, Aaron. How could I?
Why would that be California?
Well, I'm a Cali cat. My wife's from LA. I see.
A lot of people don't consider California to be part of America anymore.
I would have gone CAN, Cody. Hey, Cody, thank you for doing the game show. Cody, what's the line on this game? Would you put Bronsteter like minus 250?
There's some comments on it. Hang on one second.
I tweeted out
Big Gun was plus 300.
Plus
last
300. That's what I'm going.
Sportsbook.
That's what I'm going to Vegas with. That's my best friend since 2nd grade. Plus 300. Thanks for the confidence, Steve. Appreciate it.
That's Smitty spent Sportsbook. Use code Big Gun for 10% off on deposit.
There you go.
Well, we're gonna let Big Gun pick the board first because if he's a dog, we're gonna let him get started. So
I love it.
Petrie, let's go.
Let's go. Let's just go nickname game 100. Let's start off easy here, babe.
What is the nickname?
This is the 100 question. Ooh. These are hard. Cody said they were going to be hard.
Yeah, Cody said they were hard.
It's not coming to me.
Hey,
No,
Cody, if you sent me the answers, which I appreciate that you did, if they were sent to my cellular telephone, you know me, I'm old school. I haven't got my cell phone sitting here, so I got nothing. So, Cody, if we want, you can pop on here. You want to give him a hint? I don't know this. A hint. If you don't want to give a hint, we can just move on to the next topic.
You can buy this at a Native American souvenir shop.
Well, now I'm not going to answer because I might say something offensive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's see it. Let's see it.
Like one of the most quintessential things, you hang it up in your wall.
Bully.
Bully. Aaron got it.
The dream catcher.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah,
nice.
That did. I literally, when he first popped up, I thought the Moose, but that's just like his last name.
Yeah, that's what people call him. I was thinking the same thing.
That was a tough one.
It was.
I thought I'd do great at the nickname game. That was
Cody's
tough.
bringing his A game today.
Way to go, Cody.
He's going to beat us.
Right?
Jeez.
Seriously. All right, Bronsteter on the board.
Email
No
you the
surprise.
answer.
With control of the board.
All right, let's go nicknames for 200.
Bully.
Ooh, Petrie.
I think I got that one. Was that me?
Yep.
Okay, Muscle Shark.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Good stuff, boys. Yeah, we have a
Yeah.
game opponent here. Petrie controlling the board.
Jay, are you on your work email? I sent it to your work email. That's okay. I can do it.
Nickname game 300. Let's keep it going here. Bully. Did I get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sasquatch.
No,
Wrong.
I got it. I know the answer if you want me to give it.
Yeah.
It's Pee-wee Herman.
Ah!
These are so hard.
Nice job.
After
I remember he
Hey.
grew his hair. Remember he dyed all his hair black? I thought it was fucking Sasquatch. God damn it.
All right, we'll go nickname 400. We'll clear the board off. Ooh. I actually know.
Cody,
Oh,
nice.
Bully.
Yeah,
Maybe.
AB.
The janitor.
Yes.
I knew that too. Good job.
Told you.
Just
I brought
just a
my
deep
A
breath,
game.
big gun.
You
deep
brought
breath.
your game right when he. All right, no, let's go.
Let's
We're
roll
talking.
it. Let's go.
Let's go
Yeah.
CA or USA for 100.
Bully.
Ooh.
Is that me?
Ooh.
That
That
was
was
me.
honestly, that was a tie. And with respect to the underdog, we'll just give that one to Petrie.
That's fine. Is it me?
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's Canada. Yeah, Ryan Gosling's from
Yeah, he's
Canada.
Canadian.
You know, really a tie. Yeah. And sorry, I didn't explain the categories. My first rodeo. So
No.
we're
Yeah,
Cody,
no,
I assume
yeah.
we're saying if this is a Canadian or a
Yeah,
American,
or
an
USA.
American.
I'm good at. Let's go
Got it.
Canada or USA for 200.
Hershey.
Bully.
AB.
That's Canadian
AB.
company.
AB. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Nice job. I knew that. I own
Quick.
one of those.
Backpacks,
I know
very
one
So
of
do
those.
I. Great backpacks. And your brother
Yeah.
John owns one of those. I know that
Hey-o.
because he took mine once, or I took his, one of the two. And we had a little swapsy situation like a couple years ago.
Nice.
All right, we'll go Canadian or USA 300.
Swedish.
Bully.
Fish. BP.
Gun.
That's Canada.
Yeah. Swedish fish from Canada. Who'd have
I
Oh,
know
thought?
they are okay. That I didn't even
I
know.
know that. Yeah.
Like
You're out
this, Cody.
Canadian
Good
MVP.
stuff,
Yeah, there you go.
Cody.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Those ones are
There
hard.
you know. Yeah. Canada or USA 400. Let's clear it off.
I was going to be MMA related, but that's fine.
Bully.
BP.
That's United States.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
would
had
have
to,
probably
you know,
guessed that. but
I had to give it
I
some
don't know.
flavor, you know.
I don't want to lose
I
400
like
points.
it. I like it. Yeah, I knew that one.
I like it.
But let's go history to UFC for 100. Stats scare me.
Who is
Bully.
credited as the founder? Yeah.
BP.
Oh fuck, what's his name?
5, 4.
The Gracie family. I know that's not right. Yeah, I fucking
AB,
forget
you
the
know
guy's
this?
name.
I forgot the guy's name.
I forgot
Oh
the
my
guy's
God.
Get the points either way.
Yeah, I get the
He's
point.
the
either way, so
no,
I'm not-
wait. Oh, yeah, you do. You do.
'Cause
He's
I
a
didn't
UFC
get it
Hall of
right.
Famer. Mr. R. Davey.
Oh, Dave.
Damn,
All right.
I literally almost said Al Davis. I'm like, no, that's the guy from the Raiders. You fuck.
Similar
That's
hats,
close.
yeah. You know.
Close.
Right?
Close. I knew that. Damn it, Brian.
All right, we'll go history 200.
Can you
Can
name
you
the
name the
venue of the
venue?
first UFC show, which took place in Denver, Colorado in 1993? Cody, I'm figuring it out eventually.
That's a pass for me.
Yeah, I don't know. it either.
Cody, drop
Yeah.
a hint for him.
I think
Drop
it's
a hint
it's,
for him.
it's got to
It
be
is
like in,
demolished.
It's demolished, huh?
never
It's
been
no
to
longer
Denver.
there.
No idea.
Anyway,
It is the
I
McNichols
was in Denver
Sports
for like
Arena.
one night once.
Never would have got it. Make the
Stop
Sports
over.
Arena.
Oh,
Look at that.
There it
There's
is,
the
okay.
Moms video.
wow.
History 300.
In 1996, the UFC had their first event outside the continental United States at UFC 8 in Bayamon, Puerto Rico, Where was the UFC's first Brazilian show, and what month of 1998 did it take place? Whoa, Cody.
Yeah, these are like deep. These are deep dives.
These are deep
dives.
cuts.
Seriously.
I have a guess, but I don't. Fuck it. Why not? Bully.
1 out of 12.
Yeah. May.
No.
Fuck.
All right. Moving on.
That was a good gamble.
What month was
but
that?
I get the 300 though. I get the 300.
October. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes,
AB
you
gets
do.
the points. Yeah.
How many
Oh, that's
percent?
right. It was the 17 and a half. That's when they were doing the half.
That's
the
what
decimal.
it was
I
17
pictured
and a
that in my head. Wasn't that when Vitor and Chuck fought? Was that on the 17 and a half?
I feel like that's too early for that, but maybe.
You're
Was that,
predating me by about
I thought they fought in that and Chuck dropped them. All right, doesn't matter. I got it wrong. Let's
History
go.
of the UFC 400.
Although early UFC fights were billed as no rules, there were in fact some rules. What UFC event did hair pulling become illegal? I mean,
This early UFC stuff's tough for me. I was
hoping just for like some face mashes and like.
I hear you. Well, this one is like, I mean, some of these are pretty challenging.
I don't want to guess because I'm losing. I don't want to give up any
Yeah.
points.
Well, when AB comes in and pitches an Astros shutout by himself,
Yeah.
and I got to make it a little more difficult.
Sure.
I hear you.
And I don't have
The
the face match. Bilal's
The
brother,
early
shout out
stuff's
Bilal's brother.
bad.
He
The
does
early
the
stuff's
face
bad
match.
for
Oh,
me.
he's got.
I know.
All right, so
I know.
Give us the answer.
Yeah, give us the answer.
No, it's in the top 10.
So I don't want to lose any points.
You don't lose points.
You'll basically be giving me the game if you miss it.
If I guess
All
it,
right, see
I
the
thought I
answer.
lose points. Oh,
In a
yeah,
UFC
okay.
4 qualifying match, Jason Farron and Guy Metzger agreed not
Guy
to pull
Metzger.
hair as they were both wearing
Gotcha.
ponytails like
Yeah,
Jason.
it's the
had.
Jason Anik rule. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they should really.
You're
They
in
should
for
really.
Alaska.
Hey, where's I'm pretty tight with Mark Ryan. Let's change that rule up.
Get some hair
All right,
pulling
so-
back.
I spoke to the guy one time.
All right, I'm going to do this, but I'm worried I'm going to get overconfident here. But let's go stat leaders 100.
Yeah, let's hope this
Yeah.
is a little. All right. What UFC fighter holds
Bully.
the record for most? There we go.
Neil
Yeah.
Magny.
That's correct.
Researched that today.
Bang. And I don't even need to read it because he's
Yeah, he knew it.
faster than me. You could be sure.
All right, stat leaders 200.
Former fighter Drew McFedry holds the UFC record for shortest
Bully.
average fight time. Mr. Bronsteter.
Tommy Aspinall.
I mean, right?
Real-
At least
real
he can
good.
showcase
He's
his
real
greatness
good.
here on the board, right?
quick.
He spends a lot of time on the UFC stats.
Yeah,
I should
do
just
not
I should just
spend much
defer
time
on
with
these
this.
and give Petrie a chance to time me. But
When I
stat-
cap, I don't even use stats. So this is tough for me. No, AB,
Stat
do
leaders
it.
for
Okay.
300.
It was more to humble BP than anything, but I couldn't.
Come on, man. I don't need.
Just kidding. I mean, these aren't that. The stat leader, the history.
No, the
ones
stat
are
leaders
tough.
I should know. I should know. You're right. I agree with you there.
All right, Petrie, you need them both.
Stat leaders 300.
2 UFC fighters have spent 0 seconds on the ground in their careers. Minimum 5 fights. Can you name one? Double points if both. Petrie, this is your
And
shot.
in this chance, I'll give BP points if he can get one of the other one.
0 seconds on the ground. You could drop a hint here, Cody, I think.
I think I know this, but I don't want to risk it.
One
Yeah,
of
you
them
shouldn't
is
risk it.
based out of Texas and
Certainly not
trained with
certain.
Aljamain Sterling prior to the Pete Yarn fight.
Oh, bully.
BP.
Adrian Inez.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
Does anyone have a guess for the second one? No.
Oh, can you name? I thought you said name one.
And
Oh,
and
yeah,
we
double
can't.
points if you get both.
Double points if you get both. Do I lose
5.
points if I guess it?
4. No.
No.
Okay.
3.
I'm out.
2. Yeah. All right. So we'll give him the
Tyson
300,
Nam.
right?
Tyson Nam. Okay.
All
Wow.
right. So this
Never
is
got
it's
that.
down to this one. And boys, we'll get you back with the face mash and the real
The
sort
real
of
stuff. This
remedial
is I
stuff,
like this stuff. The history one got me. The
This is
history
like
one got
skill
me.
testing questions. I like.
Yeah.
that.
right? All right.
All right.
All right.
Ready?
Final one.
I want to make sure that Jason reads the whole thing before someone does a bully.
All
All
right.
right.
All right.
Where does UFC title contender Belal Muhammad rank all time in takedown defense? Currently, Kamaru Usman is number 1 with 97.2%.
Bully. I think he's number 2.
Nope. Maybe you get a guess. You can't lose points. So
Can't lose.
I
the
can't
game.
lose points. Number 4.
wow.
Come on.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
Even guesses right. Even guesses right.
Oh, just the darts.
I was between 2 and 3. Never would have got 4. So that it's irrelevant.
Who are 2 and 3? You just had that up there. That's fine.
2 and 3. John Jones is 2.
John Jones.
Eddie Wineland.
Eddie Wineland.
Jimmy Rivera's
Really?
4th.
See, you could have pulled a technicality and said active fighters, but John Jones is active technically. So
Yeah.
I could have made a case for Brian to be correct, but
in my head, I had John at 3 and it was either Belal and John. I never would have got Wineland. Wineland, I mean, whoa.
That's surprising.
So we definitely have to have these boys back at some point for a rematch, maybe a month or so away or 6 weeks away, where we have like the name scrambles and some of these things that we keep it flowing. But hey, we adjusted today. We appreciate you.
I love it. We're two smart guys. We got to do it. But those Cody. Well, let's give it up to Cody. Well done.
Yeah, well done, man.
I think we need to have Big Gun up against Booger Beard next time. We just let's pad the record.
Yeah,
exactly.
I need
a good
to
thing they didn't send Petrie in there against Booger Beard to box, though. That would have been bad. That was a good fight, Harrington and Booger Beard.
I saw that.
Wasn't good for
I hope he got a bag for that, Booger Beard.
So, Aaron, I want to ask you one question before we get out of here. And if I asked you this in our last one, forgive me, but do you have a favorite sports team in the United States that you root for? Or do you like NFL football? Do you like American sports?
Yeah, I love the NFL. Like those are my two sports I follow are basically MMA and the NFL. I used to be such a big basketball fan, but it's just over the years I kind of lost touch with it. I was so passionate about it. I knew if you did basketball trivia from like 2010 and before, I'd probably be like almost as good as this. But yeah, like I love the NFL, but I've never been a team guy. Like I gravitate towards certain players. Like when I was younger, I loved like LaDainian Tomlinson, and I was a Chargers fan during that time. But I'm not like a guy that would get a Chargers license. But listen, if you want to look at statistics, the percentage of times you're going to be miserable in your life if you hitch your wagon to a team, it's like 98% of the time. Like, why do people put themselves through this misery?
Well, I'll tell you why, right? So, and I grew up in Boston.
Well, you're a Boston guy, so I mean,
part of the culture. But I'll tell you why. John and I are hosting this show called Anik Squared on this Hammer Bet.
The Hammer Bet Network. The great Rob Pizzola.
Great show.
Yeah, exactly. So we were talking about the Patriots and growing up over the last 20 years, obviously in the Brady era, a regular NFL Sunday in a year when the Patriots go 13-3, you're watching them. Most of those 13 wins are blowouts. So there's not much drama on a given Sunday. Whereas every Sunday now, I have a mediocre team that I care just as much about. And if they lose when they should win or win when they, so that is actually very entertaining. And I sort of looked forward to that in an odd way when I was watching sort of a front runner. But anyway, it's I'm always encouraging people that come to this country. My business partner is South African. I'm saying, hey, pitch a team. He's going with the Dolphins because we're in South Florida.
Sure.
It's not working for me. But anyway, gentlemen, and we know Petrie's a Cincinnati Bengals fan. You can be sure.
Who dey, baby?
Anyway,
yes. Listen, if you want misery in your life, be a Bengals fan.
Well, I mean, your other team of your state is probably an even worse team to be a fan of.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how Okamoto does it I went down to. I was staying at the Park MGM once, and I went down to like the Sportsbook to like grab some nachos or something. And Okamoto's there biting his shirt, sitting in a chair by himself in front of a TV watching the Rockies. I'm like, dude, I go, don't you live in the city? Like, what are you doing here at the Park MGM Sportsbook? He's like, I gotta watch that. I need space to watch the game.
He's a huge Rockies fan. And
how are you putting yourself through this?
Oh, he's a huge Rockies fan. He was able to connect with Nolan Arenado and like play golf with him, who is now in the St. Louis Cardinals, but huge star in the Rockies. So for him, he was like, and awesome. For you guys, it's like for a guy like Okamoto, he's a well-known guy, but still, these professional athletes, whether it's UFC, NFL, we're starstruck. You can be sure. Anyway, boys, thank you. We will have you back. Big fans of both of you. Everyone knows where to follow both of you as well. So anyway, have a great night. Everyone who joined us live, we appreciate you. Have a great night. Cody, Merrow, you're the best. For Aaron Bronsteter, Big Gun, Brian Petrie, I'm Jason Anik. Belal Muhammad, we love you, brother. See you next week.
I'll see you, boys.